What up, Bad News fam? I can't believe it's the end of season 1. Seems like just yesterday, Tall and I were dreaming this whole thing up. It's amazing how far we came in less than a year. To see it come to fruition is extremely rewarding, and I can't say enough about all the support and assistance along the way. We were very appreciative. Man. But today's episode, we sit down with the white whale himself, Itai. He's probably the person we've spoken most about during the season's episodes. We tried hard to get him on the show, and there were times where it looked like it wasn't even going to happen. But we ended up landing him at the end, and it was the perfect culmination to the season. Itai is a genius. Simple as that. His work is amazing, and something people will look back on and admire. He's grown so much as an artist since I started following him. I remember trying to put Tall on almost a year before he brought it up to me. This guy is the truth. So do us one more favor. Hit the Insta, give him a follow, then follow Bad News, subscribe, rate the pod, leave some comments. We see them, and they really help us a lot. And we love the new founded army. Now let's grow into a force for season 2. We have a lot in store, and I can't wait to share. Remember, all news is bad news. Oh, and one more thing. Make sure to go cop some merch at the Bad News store. Check it out. We just dropped it. It's brand new. And if you order something, all the orders are coming. We're kind of behind. There's been some technical difficulties, but be patient. Everything's on its way. We didn't forget about you. Stay up.
Bad news. I can't believe it. Bad news. Extra, read all about it. Bad news.
Hey yo, bad news. Fuck going on?
All right. Well, another day, another life,
And we're back.
and we're back. We got fans sitting on the couches today.
This is tight.
This is
My
tight.
fan club
We got
talk.
fan
Actual
club.
listeners and stuff. Like
We're so big now. We get to bring people in to clap for us.
I invited
like,
the fan club because I fuck
do
with them.
like cowbell stuff.
we had like a 5 guest episode. Now we got audience. Like it's on the come up, dude.
When are you getting the sign that says clap?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do all that.
I need the
on
hype
air,
man.
Yeah, on air, outside.
The light up
Guy
clap
outside.
sign. That's the one you need.
Yeah.
We need a
Totally.
blunt sign so I can press it and a prom comes running out of nowhere.
Well, we got an awesome guest today.
Oh man, it's like the white whale. We've been chasing
man.
this one.
Yeah, this one's been tough, but it's like my little brother, so I'm really excited for this one. We got Itai here.
Itai, LA.
You know, I don't even, like. He doesn't even need a last name. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you don't.
Most people don't know my last name, which is actually funny, and it says it right on the top of my Instagram.
So Israeli, I love it.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's a tongue twister. You're like,
Oh my god, my first name is a
Doli.
tongue twister. Imagine how many people fuck
Itai
up my name.
Doli.
Yeah.
It's the most Israeli Israel of names.
Starbucks, my name is Dave.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
You know,
where
when
I'm
I go
at.
to Starbucks and they're like, "Wait, your name's Tall?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, so you don't want it tall? I'm like, "No, I want it grande." And
Why don't you just say T?
nah,
I just
because
say
they look
E
at
sometimes.
the best is when I give them my credit card and I say Tall, and they're like, "All right,
It'd be better if it was spelled T-A-L.
right."
No, you have like a way that you say it, like you're like opposite of short.
It's opposite of short. I always say that, and people are like, "This guy's an idiot."
Opposite of short. Well,
This is honestly like a crazy special episode. I'm beyond pumped for this story. I think kids are gonna freak out about it. This is like the true come up story.
the mystery.
Yeah,
It was crazy because I was sitting at home and Tal was like mentioned this might happen, and I was kind of like, well,
that's the third time you said it.
Yeah, no big deal, dude. Like, whatever. There's always something. And then I like wake up and there's a text like, studio 3:00. They're here. I'm like, oh sweet. I got to cancel everything now. Like, sorry.
I had to get out here.
Yeah. I'm so pumped, man.
And I don't do this normally.
Yeah, I know.
If it was
And
anyone
I think
other
this
than
is gonna
Tall.
be like this is the last episode of our first season.
Because I was like, I already knew because I've been following for so long, but I was like wondering like what I could dig up online. If I looked real quick, like just did like a little brush over. There's not a
nothing.
lot.
I go out of my way to make sure there's not.
And it's like weird because it's like these dead ends. Like you think you're like, I'm like, ooh, here it is. You know? And then, but the funniest thing, when you type in someone's name and it's like is dead or is a criminal or something like that. Like he has like a million people are looking for that wiki because it's like the first one that comes up. It's like wiki, and I'm like, oh yeah, this will be easy. And no wiki. I'm like, oh, so people are on there like trying to find.
I've had like some fake Wikipedia pages.
I mean,
I've had.
did
like,
you know that Tav is worth $92 million?
I love that. Are you paying for the show? Are you paying for this now?
How
Like,
did you plug that in somewhere? Hey, it just happens.
Damn, you got real quiet.
I literally was like, Top Cooperman net worth, and it comes up 92 million. And then someone sent me mine, and it was like 72. And I was like,
I looked
cool
up
with it.
mine, and it just doesn't exist. I'm broke.
Thank God. Anyways, Itai, what up?
What up, boys? I appreciate y'all having me
Of course,
out.
man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
What brings you here?
Where are you from? Give us the background before we get into
Give
the
us
story.
the short.
I
short
was
before the long.
Born in New York, raised in LA my whole life. I grew up in Santa Monica, right on the border of Venice and Santa Monica. I was a troubled kid. 13, I was on my own. I was running around homeless. I had fake IDs with apartments and just like crazy random things like that. And yeah, I was always that kid that drew. Like my piece was drawing. You know, they'd tell you to focus in class. I had a doctor's note that said I had ADHD and that I had a 15-minute break whenever I wanted.
So you just get up and roll out?
After the first 2 months, the teachers were over that shit. They're like, just do whatever you want. You know what I mean? So like I would come to class late and say I needed 15 minutes. I'd leave 10 minutes later. I was friends with all the security guards. I was selling drugs at the time. I was bribing them. You know, when you're in high school, like if you're a senior, you can leave at lunch. You get 30 minutes, you come back. I was the freshman that was fucking in the middle of a class. They'd just let me off. My friends had keys to all the gates. Like high school was just not good for me. I was not a good kid either. I got kicked out of a bunch of schools. I was fighting. I was kind of just like going through that shit, and art was my piece. So when I dropped out of school, I really had no legitimate job opportunities. I mean, I've had the shitty, like, I worked at an ice skating rink. I worked at an ice cream shop. I've done construction. You know, you go through your fair share of those. But my only, like, real job opportunity was in the weed world. So I started running a dispensary. I was growing. I was, like, doing all this shit. And then it all closed. Like, it all came down. People got in trouble. I didn't get in trouble, but they had to close the shop. And I had to find kind of, like, another alternative other than just selling drugs. So that's kind of when like the whole hype thing happened. I was like 16. So you're talking about 2009, 2010 era, which was a really good year for sneakers, Supreme.
Yeah.
I mean, and this was when like if you were waiting in line for Supreme, you were an idiot because Diamond was the cool company, you know? So I used those relationships, and pretty much for 2 years, every Thursday I was at Supreme cutting the line. Every Saturday and Friday I'm at all the sneaker stores, putting people in chairs, finessing 10, 20 pairs of shoes. And then I realized you can buy used Louis Vuitton in Asia, and it's in amazing condition, but it's cheap. So all of a sudden I'm buying Louis wallets for $100, and you know, my era of kids, like all the rich kids had a Louis wallet. You know, that was kind of like the cool thing at the time. You know, when we were younger, it was the video game systems, but when we were in high school, it was like, you know, the Louis wallet, the Louis, the belts were a thing. People were wearing Gucci belts, new belts every day, you know. So I was able to buy these wallets for like $80 to $100 and sell them for $400. And that's kind of what started all this whole designer trend. So I started reselling designer. I was pretty much selling anything. If it made money and I could sell it for more, I was all about it.
And like in all different avenues, or like
anything,
mainly like eBay or what?
So they have I shouldn't
like even before
I shouldn't
eBay's?
even give out the sauce, but
No, don't even worry about it. No,
I'm not tripping. There's this website called Buy. It's pretty much a Yahoo auction, and the way it works is they won't ship to America. Now they've changed it, so they have a service where they ship it to their warehouse and then ship it to America. But back in the day, you used to have to use a proxy system, meaning you shipped it to a third party and then they would ship it to you. You don't know if you're getting something fake. There's no insurance. It's kind of like a risky thing. So when we were kids, no one really wanted to fuck with it. But that's when Bape was popping. So we were buying Bape t-shirts for $60 and selling them for $150, $200. So all of a sudden now I started trying to figure out all the foreign websites. Buy, I'm not worried about telling because it's pretty basic information. Yahoo owns it, people know. But I have websites in other languages, you know, like I shop in France, I shop in Germany, and like I can't even fucking read a thing. It's literally, I'll sit there with 2 tabs and just translate over and over. You know,
Just copy and paste.
now it's more advanced. More websites have the option to like put it in English, but like even just finding where the fuck it says like to change the language is a task on its own, you know? So like now it's different. I've been buying this shit for so long that these people know what I'm looking for. They know what I'm buying. They know what I'll always buy. They know what's rare that I'd be interested in. So they send me emails and they'll send me a list of like 30 things. One photo, price, and a rate, like 8 out of 10 condition or whatever. So a lot of these people now will do private sales with me so they can avoid all the bullshit, all the fees, wire them the money and it gets delivered. But yeah, that's kind of like what spawned my whole fixation on the designer world. And I used to draw and I used to spray paint. I got this job working for a family member of mine, which I got a cheat code on the job because I got a pass to get that job without school training. So at the time I thought it was amazing, but I learned an important lesson to never work for family. And I worked my fucking ass off.
Yeah.
It wasn't it for me. That's pretty much all I can say. You
That's
know?
when you're like, I got to go a different direction.
Yeah. So but a part of that is I was running an art gallery we did for Scion as a marketing program where Scion would pick artists and we would build these art shows for them and let them keep all the money in exchange for social media exposure. So I learned a lot about marketing and social media due to that job. Some art shows are popping. You know, we did things like Clot. Companies before it was even a thing. I'm talking 10 years ago, nobody knew who Clot was, you know, not in America at least, you know. So something like that, we have hundreds of Chinese kids lining up to resell.
That's KP tough.
Yeah. And, you know, that's something that like for the 6 weeks that's open, we're on our toes every day. There's people outside. But then there's art shows where you pick an artist that no one really knows about. And yeah, we have an opening. We'll obviously work before the opening and like a day or two afterwards. But other than that, no one really comes in. So I was in charge of operating this gallery as well as a lot of computer work. And the computer work's easy for me. Like I would knock that shit out super quick. So I started painting, like literally just taking sneakers and painting on sneakers. All my homies played basketball. At that time, I met, how old was I? I must have been 17 or 18, I think was the first time I met Chief Keef. Became great friends with Fredo Santana, who's his cousin. That was like my brother, my mentor, like one of my best friends, my everyday person. He taught me how to operate, how to do a lot of things, and I taught him how to legitimize a lot of things, how to make merchandise, how to do a lot of things, and we became good friends. And he would see that I was painting these shoes and was kind of just like, I've seen it before. And I wasn't the first one to paint shoes, you know? And it's not permanent. Even a car, you have companies that have billions of dollars and they have machinery that's custom made just for that. So if they can't paint something and make it permanent, there's no way that a kid doing it on their own in a fucking garage is going to be able to do it. Just like anything that's painted, it'll scratch off, it'll wear off. So now I just fucking worked like 8-9 hours trying to do it properly because you can't just paint it on top. You have to tape it off, you have to strip it, you have to prep it, you have to do like, it's like painting a car. There's 20 layers to it.
Layers all day.
So I worked 10 hours for you to fucking go play basketball for a few hours and it's starting to scratch off and I got to fix it. And you can't just fucking put a little paint there and it's all good. I got to start all over again for chump change money. So I was like, this is dog shit. I got to figure something else out. And I was buying a lot of Louis shit. A lot of shit from Japan, and sometimes, you know, eBay, you buy something and it's fake or damaged, you get your money back. When you buy it from another country using third party this, shipping service this, like, you're out the game.
Yeah.
You're fucked, you know? So there were times that I got fake things, and then there was times where I got real things that were just broken. And so I had a pile of
Broken
goods.
goods.
Louis goods, you know? And so one day, I'm very to myself. You know, I don't sleep a lot either. I sit on my phone. A lot of people follow girls on Instagram. I follow artists. I follow different types of things, you know? So Instagram is a big form of knowledge for me. I get to see a lot of things. I get to learn about a lot of things. And there were people that were sewing on shoes and gluing on shoes. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. That's the next step. And so I tried to figure it out on my own, you know, like an idiot. I thought they were hand sewing it. I'm fucking sitting there trying to force a needle through, stabbing my fingers left and right. I'm getting blood on the inside of the shoe. I got to start all over. Like all this shit. I'm like, this isn't it. I fucking called 50, maybe 50 tailors and was like, yo, can you guys sew on shoes? So there's a machine from the 60s. It's called a patcher. And most sewing machines have a bed. It's like a flat surface that whatever you're sewing runs on it. This patcher machine has an arm pretty much, so you could sew anything without it being flat.
Around,
So I found a guy that had one.
How did you find out that you needed a machine like that?
I literally just kept calling and asking.
Got it.
And it was like, can you sew on shoes? No. Can you sew on shoes? No. Can you sew on shoes? No. Who can sew on shoes? What do I need to do? And everyone's answer is you have to build it from scratch. You got to take the sole off. You got to do it the right way. Eventually, I found a guy that was like, I know someone who sews things on top of hats.
Oh,
Go check him out. This was a spot that opened up on La Brea. This old grumpy guy, he was doing like leather hats and just like weird leather goods. Dude, the guy finessed the shit out of me. I paid him so much money to sew this shit on. I don't know. I think it was like almost $300 to sign the Nike, to put the Nike checks on, which was like ridiculous for me at the time. But I just sat there and fucking took mental notes.
Yeah.
And fucking...
So you're like, you can do it, but I'm going to watch you do it?
Well, we had this whole thing because, like, the guy originally, I came in to talk to someone, and he was like, yeah, it'll be like $20 on each side, you know? And you got to wait for the specialist. So then I came in, and it was like, all right, cool, here you go. And then when we were done, it's like, all right, $350. I'm like, yo, I'm broke as shit. I'm like, yo, this guy just told me $20, and I was like, yo, you know, that's a lot.
Sounded like a lot.
So this guy's like, nah, $350. And I'm like, not one to argue unless I think you're wrong. And that's like the one where like, bro, I may be young, but you're not about to finesse me right now. And it got to the point where like I put $100 on the counter and I was like, this is all you're gonna get. And he didn't want to give me my shit. And it got to like that level of like, listen, homie, like I don't have much to lose right now. Like I will fucking go crazy, you know? And so pretty much that ended our relationship right there. And now I kind of had like a little bit of an instruction booklet. I now knew what I needed to find, what I needed to figure out. I mean, dude, I searched everywhere for that machine. You never find it. It's not something that's ever online. After more experimenting, there was a guy who was doing customs who posted online that he's teaching in class. I was working some days, 13, 14 days in a row, no break type thing. And so he was teaching a class. Of course, I have work Friday. Saturday, I have work. I was able to move some things around. Sunday, I had work. Friday night, I finished my shift, drove straight to San Fran. Slept in my car, was the first one at the class, helped him set up, took notes, did everything I could, drove straight back and went to work the next day. A month later, he did another class. That one little bit he gave me, I used and tried to expand on my own and ended up fucking up things because I was trying to like advance too far. Second class came, same thing. No one helped set up. No one was really paying attention. I was the only one. So he told me, yo, come fucking work with me full time. This and that, we're going to open a store, we're going to do this show, all this. I was young, I was naive, I was a little kid, you know, it all sounded great to me. I ended up not being happy with my workplace, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it. I just quit my job one day, put all my shit in 2 suitcases, fucking grabbed a giant bag of weed, my stash of money, and was like, we're out. I ended up moving to Antioch, which I had no knowledge of. I thought I was moving to San Fran. That's like saying you're moving to LA, but you go fucking move in like...
Vernon.
Worse, i.e.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Like you're fucking, I can't even think of something that's that bad. Like, dude, the BART train system didn't even make it to
Close
where
to
I
Antioch.
stayed.
No way.
And I mean, I'm talking about,
It sounds like a different country.
dog, the best food for 20 miles was fucking Chili's, and people were in there with like suits for graduations and birthdays, and you had to have a reservation to go to Chili's. You're like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
I've been to Antioch. I know what you're
dog,
talking
it's
about.
dog
Yeah.
shit. Like, and at this time, like, fucking Sons of Anarchy was popping. So Stockton was all hood at that time. Everyone was leaving Stockton and going other places because of the, you know, everyone being there and shit. So like, bro, there's meth heads and tweakers everywhere, bro. Like, people getting shot in the mall over like regular Jordan 11 lows that aren't even reselling. You know what I mean? Like, fucking just like some shit, you know? And I put up with it for like probably like a year and a half, and it was time for me to go. You know, I was like, I'm over it. I need to be normal. At the time, I was 21. So all my friends are partying, all my friends are living life.
Yeah,
all
starting
this,
to do things.
and I'm fucking slaving in a fucking tiny apartment 7 days a week making no bread.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
Are you living on your own, Itai, or are you with your mom?
No, at that time I was living with the guy.
Okay.
But he had 2 kids and a girlfriend. And like I've never been like verbally or physically abused. Yeah. But those little fucking kids abused me, yo, because I can't talk shit to a little kid.
Yeah.
Dude, they would like hit me. They would like fucking fuck with me, and I'm like they're pushing me, and they know what they're doing, you know. And
Tom
I'm
used
like,
to kick people in the nuts.
It's like that episode of like that in Child's Play, you know, when he like,
Yeah.
all the people are like, he's doing it, and their parents are just like, nah, he's, he's a little
and
kid.
the parent's like a New York cat. He's like, bro, you better talk some shit back or tell him what time it is. And then I'd spaz on him. You'd be like, yo, chill the fuck out on my kids. I'm like, dog, what? So I ended up just like, it just wasn't a situation for me. I was like, I'm out. So after like a year and a half, and I still love the guy. It's nothing but love to him. We're friends. We talk here and there. I took what he gave me and I ran. I came back to LA and I fucking completely turned it up. And I lost my passion for shoes because when I was doing it, I was really just making shit for myself. Like when I worked for him, I was making him shit. It was work.
Yeah.
When I came back, I spent time just making shit for myself and learning, that's fun. When you start having to make shit for other people, it's work, you know? So it's one thing for me to make a jacket, but to make shoes, I'm making one-off shoes, and then you want to buy it, but you're a size 9 and it's an 11. You're out. So there was just so much like headache with the shoes that I lost my love for it. And that's when we discovered the lighters. Me and my buddy Max figured out the lighters, and that was the first time I posted 20, 30 of something, and in 10 minutes, my DMs are flooded.
That's
and I
crazy.
had no followers. We're talking about like 10,000, 12,000 followers, you know, and I'm selling scraps of Louis for $100 a lighter. We're starting to get somewhere. Fast forward 6 months to a year, it became the hottest item out.
It's
Every
crazy.
rapper wanted one. Every person was calling me. People were putting them in music videos, covers of albums, anything you could think of. And it became a business. It allowed me to build an infrastructure to fucking really learn what I'm doing. No longer need to cheat the tax system to learn it and get it right.
Do you think people like Louis are taking notes from you?
100%.
Right.
100%. Like 10,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even
when I was doing shoes, Nike copied my shit, Jordan copied my shit. Like to the point where like I would post something and it would be liked by the people that work for the design departments.
And you would know that they
4 or
who
5
they are.
months later they release, and it's like, all right, you know what time it is. But then all of a sudden I had the fake companies making fakes of my customs.
Right.
Like I would make Bape
okay.
Jordans, and it was the first time anyone had seen Bape Jordans. So they'd make fake Bape Jordans. So that put a spotlight on me with a department in Nike that kind of analyzes that fake stuff.
That's crazy.
And that brought up a meeting, which could have been bad, but it ended up being okay. But it gave a lot of people in the company knowledge about me that didn't know about me before. So now I don't do shoes anymore. So no one copies my shoes, you know, but I don't look at it as copying if you're doing what I do.
Yeah.
I'm all for everyone trying to get money. I get kids that DM me every day like, yo, I was unhappy with life and I started this and now my friend works for me and we're doing good.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me happy. I don't even care if people go buy Louis towels and try and make your own shit. Like, you can't touch me.
No.
And I'm like, you're trying to figure something out I figured out years ago and just barely are now showing you. Even the new stuff I make today, I finish it 2 months before social media ever sees it. So I'm all for that shit. I actually fully encourage it, and I've reposted people who do their shit. If it's cool, like I fuck with it. Some kids have vision, you know? But then there's also people that like do whack ass shit. Like they see people comment on my page, so they're gonna go DM them like, yo, I could sell you this for less. Or like I've had, man, the other day some guy fucking went into my production spot and saw a sample of something I was working on and fucking rushed back and fucking made the same thing.
Yeah.
And then when I posted mine 3 weeks later, motherfuckers started, all these kids are hating on me. I find out that his homies are like offering people free hoodies and like chances to win shit to go talk shit on my page, you know? So there's like toxic shit like that in the industry that's just like whack, you know? Like when I first started, I used to hand make everything. Now I have a team of people that I trained, you know? So all these little customizers think I'm fucking a fake or they're better than me because they hand make it. It's like, there's a difference. I run a business and you're still working out of your crib, you know, and to each his own.
Yeah.
I'm all for you not working a regular job. I fully support that, you know, but there's some people that do it whack, you know, there's some people that they're going to go block me and then talk shit, you know?
Of course.
But it's like, I signed up for that. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to be the best at something, like, people are going to try and fuck with you and bring you down. So it's kind of...
That's my life story.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and like we were talking about earlier with the mystique aspect, you know, like since there isn't a lot of information, people like, they just assume that you're like a plant or that it's just something else in the mix. Like, oh, he's probably really backed by Louis and it's all a big scheme, you know? Like,
I hear the craziest shit.
Yeah.
And I'm actually banned from Louis Vuitton and Goyard globally. My fucking assistant is banned.
Like, tell me a little. I don't know if you want to speak on that, but like being banned. Like, how did you find out you were banned? First of all, like, did you just walk into a store and someone was like, "Nah, B," and then you walked into another store?
I can't be specific, but I walked into a store.
Yep.
That I went into very frequently.
Yeah.
I'm talking about I was going in there 4 or 5 times a week, spending
10, 15, 20 grand.
more than that. You know, like I was going crazy, and they pulled me to the side. I was with my girlfriend at the time. It was actually funny because she never let me buy her shit.
Yeah.
And I was like fucking about to buy her this fucking bag because I wanted to match with her. And we fucking walk in and the guy's like, you know, I know everyone by first name. The manager's like, yo,
we got to talk.
Let me talk to you real quick. And I'm like, what's good? And he's like, yo, they sent out a fucking company-wide email. I'm surprised they haven't reached out to you yet. You can't shop with us anymore.
Dang.
About 2 months later, 3 months later, same thing happened with Louis. And so they're still on me at Louis. They can't stop me, so they just ban me because that's what they can do.
Little did they know we have the army.
I mean, bro, you could discontinue towels in America.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop nothing.
Right.
Like, so, like if my clients wear my custom shit into the store, they've been told to leave.
Yeah.
I'm Voldemort at Louis. If you walk in there and ask about something from E-Tide, they'll literally shush you and say like, yo, we don't talk about that shit. Like,
I thought it was funny, like, you know, when Virgil dropped that bag and the internet was like almost like throwing it out saying it was the E-Tide bag.
So look, so when Virgil first got that job, you know, Virgil's best friends are good friends of mine since before all this shit. So like,
we come from a small world.
It's a small world, you know, and I know a lot of people Virgil's been under for the last 20 years. So, you know, I reached out to them like, yo, congrats, this and that. Get me unbanned, you know what I mean? Like, help me out here a little bit. And they didn't even respond to me, which was like super whack.
Like
you know, like I get it. I mean, motherfuckers are intimidated of me, you know what I mean? I mean, it's to the point where Louis employees get fired for selling me shit if they catch it. I mean, I've had people say that my friend's little sister started working at Louis, and during her job training, they literally in front of all the new staff are like, yeah, these are the people you have to watch out for. This kid customizes shit. He's going to send people in here to try and buy as many towels as he can. If people come in trying to buy 4 or 5 duffel bags, flag their accounts. If people come in trying to buy 10, 20 towels, flag their accounts. To the point that they dropped these blue towels, and to avoid me from getting them, they changed it to, instead of a regular release, they did island resorts, which means in all of LA, only Santa Monica gets it. They're not fond of me in Santa Monica. I had some inside information that pretty much scheduled with the data package that they got for that release was that I'm going to get them. And I have to do everything I can to, they have to do everything they can to not sell them to me. They literally wrote, if any male within the age of like 18 to 20 something came in, to just not fulfill his order.
Wow.
So I got a heads up, and I'm like calling my mom, I'm sending in all her employees. I'm calling girls I know. I'm calling cousins. I'm calling everyone I can. Like, yo, I need you to go get me those towels. You know what I mean? Boom, I took the whole fucking shelf. I got like 30 of them. They do restocks every few weeks. So fucking when they saw that I got all those towels, they canceled the Santa Monica restock. Sent it to Hawaii, I think. Boom, got them all from Hawaii. I got the Australia ones. I got the Italy ones. I clear them out from everywhere.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with Virgil is like, I don't ask people for shit.
Yeah.
I asked for some help. No one really cared to help. Y'all watch me. You know what time it is.
Yep.
And I respect the shit out of Virgil. Nothing but hate. I actually understand so much more about this than the average person that like, people think Virgil has control. He doesn't. Like, no, you're the bad guy no matter what.
Yeah.
The cool kids might not like it, but then the fashion world likes it. If the fashion world doesn't like it, the cool kids don't. Like, no matter what, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
And a company like Louis Vuitton, their number one priority is heritage.
Yeah.
So they're going to watch you with a fucking microscope. Now, I know my Louis shit. So when I see a print, I know exactly where it came from and what it was reinterpreted from and what year that print came out.
Yeah.
I know
was
where
gonna say that. Like, how'd you get that
like,
vast knowledge and like all
I've cut
of the,
everything. So you can't tell me that you created the prism when they did the exact same thing for the Brazil World Cup that nobody knows about. And it comes with a towel, and they only made 500 in the world. You know, like, there's shit like that that I know. And so, you know, you copy my shit, that's cool, you know? They're never going to stop copying it. But the way I look at it is it gave me confidence. And not in the fact that, like, most people are proud that someone's copying you or you made it or this and that. It was self-confidence because people don't realize I'm in a box. I don't get to just create shit. Clothing is not something that you have to make special fabrics for each type of clothing. Mm-hmm. I don't get that luxury. I don't get to create my own materials. I don't get rolls of fabrics. I have to physically buy something and then use it. And half the time, if I'm taking a bag apart, there's stitch holes in it, there's fusing, there's glues, there's so many things. So it's like, I'm coming up with this shit while being extremely boxed in, you know? And if I was able to figure this shit out 3 years ago, while being boxed in, and y'all now think that it's a good thing to do, and I see it and I go, bro, if I had the opportunity to do anything, any Louis design, any print, any hardware, any fucking design, anything I want, oh my God, that bag would have been fucking insane. Mm-hmm. So I look at it and it reassures me. I'm like, all right, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my time yet, but when it is, I got it. You know what I mean? And it's funny because you know, I don't encourage it. I don't hate on the companies. I try not to start problems. I don't tell people to go talk shit. None of that. People were calling it the E-tie bag.
Yeah. Well, your product speaks for itself.
Blogs were calling it the E-tie bag.
Yeah,
I had celebrities,
screenshots,
FaceTiming me, rappers sending me screenshots, like to the point where some people actually thought I actually had something to do with it.
Yeah.
They like fools were like, "Congrats! I hope you got paid a bag." I'm like, "What, homie? I didn't get a fucking cent."
Yeah.
In fact, they're probably gonna make it harder for me to get towels now that this is out. You know what I mean? I guess the plus side to it is that bag's $12,000. So I guess if I sell you one for less, it's a, you know what I mean? I guess, but nah, I mean it doesn't bother me. I know it's gonna happen for the rest of my life.
Of course, man. Like I tell you, we've had talks, you know, just of other creative directors or you know other designers. I'm always like, you're doing it on your own. Two, someone big is going to hit you up soon because they're either going to get stepped up and they're going to need someone like you, or they're going to step down and they're going to be like, I got to leave it in this kid's hands.
Well, so see, this is kind of what it is for me. It's I had to use this to get my spotlight as a motor, this whole custom designer shit. The reason why I don't have a clothing company is because I don't want to be viewed as a clothing designer.
Yeah, you're more than that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've talked about that too.
I'm not a clothing designer, actually. I'm a creative director. I'm a visual artist.
Absolutely.
My brain never stops. That's
here.
my problem. I can't sleep. My
Yeah,
body.
You're doing stuff with like furniture now, right? Like you're getting crazy.
But see, that's just what you guys see from the realm of what I'm doing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
see, nobody knows about,
of course,
the toy collabs I'm organizing, the fucking this and that, the movie fucking backdrops I'm creating. Like, there's so many different things. The restaurant I own, I'm working on building a school. There's so many different things.
What's your restaurant called again?
Nick's on Beverly.
That's right.
It's fucking great.
It's amazing. I mean, the photos you post are just and that's a vegan spot, right?
Well, so I'm not vegan.
Right.
I just believe in healthy eating.
Yeah.
People think vegan means healthy, but some of that fake processed shit's really bad for you.
Yeah.
So it's actually all plant-based. Everything's made from scratch every day. And
you own that with Sean Witherspoon.
Yeah, there's a group of us.
And Nick.
Yeah, Nick Adler,
Nick Adler's
Stefan, Sean, Chris, Luke, you know.
Good crew.
There's a few of us. For me, I'm a money guy.
Right.
If I can't, until the day that I can't invest in myself, I'll never invest in anyone else. I don't like gambling on other people I can't control. People bring me business proposals every day. I'm in one ear out the other. This one, it's not even about the money. I tried the food.
You were sold.
And it was different. And so for me, like, I'm not vegan. I'll fuck up a good steak. I'm not gonna eat no chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? But like, I try and eat as much vegan as I can. For me, what's cool is I get people like your brother Tav, and people like Banks who don't eat vegan, that are all of a sudden, love it. You know, when I'm telling you, there's no fake chicken, there's no fake steak. We're not trying to do that. You're willing to give it a try.
Right.
When you give it a try and it's insanely good and it's healthy, next thing you know, there's people there on their own in their own recognizance. I've had people there from fucking Carnages and Little Dirks to fucking Freeway Rick Ross to fucking Keanu Reeves, like anyone you can think of that goes in there. So for me, the kickoff is getting to watch my friends who aren't vegan enjoy it and learn knowledge. For me, I learned a lot about the food industry. I learned a lot about businesses, things, budgeting that's completely different from my world. And for me, this was another gateway. Now, I'm working with a few of my friends. We're doing vegan ice cream shops. We're going to start a few locations, something that can be franchised and build a big company with. And I learned that because of the other one. So for me, this designer thing is just kind of like the
stepping stone,
the segue to get in connection with all these people I know. And then when you know me, you understand it. You see it, you feel it, you know? So now, this year, I'm finally starting to get a few more opportunities, but I also had to pipe up in 2019 and make those opportunities for myself. And so now I'm starting to get more opportunities of non-designer related artistic things, which is the future for me. You know, that's kind of the 10-year. That's kind of all I can see myself doing for the rest of my life is connecting dots. And
same. That's how, I mean, that's my life story, man. It's just like, I never asked for anything back, man. I've just always been trying to connect people, you know, like, I don't even think twice. I know people get paid for that type of shit. I don't even like, I don't even care. I'm just always like connecting people.
I help so many people, and the amount of percentage that comes back to me is a joke. Yeah, but it's not about that. It's about like knowing, like,
of course, like this agency hit me up yesterday. They worked closely with us through this project, but like I became friends with those guys, and they get paid money. They have money to spend, and they're working for a big account, 4-letter word, big shoe brand, you know. But they're like, yo, we're doing this new thing. Who are like some new up and coming artists? So I like send them my whole crew. I'm like, yo, they're like, this is great, thank you. In my head, I'm like, I probably just missed an opportunity to make like 20 racks, but you know, but I don't care.
That's what. That's kind of what makes us and builds our relationships. Because I've helped so many people, there's people that want to help me.
For sure.
And I don't even really use those favors, but when I do, you can't really say no to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't cash out often, but I got a nice Rolodex of favors for when that day comes. But now I'm just trying to fucking keep it cool, enjoy life. I'm 25 years old. I have no responsibilities, no kids, no girl. My only responsibilities is work. Yeah. And I have a lot of employees, which is a heavy responsibility because when I take the day off to come to Vegas for this, I still got to pay them and make sure they're working. And
we don't close shop.
Nah, never.
Shops never close.
So, you know, there's that responsibility, but I'm 25 years old and get to do whatever I want and travel the world and shit that I dreamed of as a kid. You know, like, man, one day I'm going to have a Ferrari. One day I'm going to have a bus down. You know, like, I bought my mom a bust down and then bought myself one the same week. I don't even have a license. I bought a Bentley. Like, I pretty much bought everything I wanted. And it's a great feeling of knowing that you were able to do it for yourself. Then you get to a point of like, this shit is materialistic and it's cool and you love it, but there's a bigger picture, you know? So like, I kind of, 2020 is like, I'm helping a lot of other people, doing a lot of really cool projects. I mean, I'm trying to build a school in Bali right now. It's going to be an art school, Itai Jory School of Arts. Like, I dropped out of high school. The day I turned 18, I never went back. Fucking, I'm the last person that you'd expect to build the school.
Is this going to be their second one? Or is this, you already helped with one previously, right?
Nah, so
weren't you out in Peru not too long ago?
Yeah, so I went to Peru. The Peru government took us out there. They showed us around. We were working with charities. You know, I do shit like that. My friends own a huge company called Karmagawa, which is one of the most amazing nonprofits that helps
Definitely
animals.
Go follow them on Gram.
Oh, amazing. I don't shout a lot of people out, but that's like
100%.
If you don't fuck with them, you're just a bad human. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard, bro. Like, it's some of the videos they post, it's hard to see the way that these animals are getting treated and shit. Like, it's hard. And like, I love animals, don't get it twisted, but I wasn't raised in a bubble. There's like there's a kingdom. It's survival of the fittest, you know, like you break it down to reality. They were created and we're the bigger animal, you know, and it is what it is. And yet I love animals, but there's some shit that even knowing that, it's hard to see it. You know what I mean? Like, and every country works different. Not everyone has the same views on things as us. So like Karmagawa is one that I always support. I will go out of my way. I will spend money to do something positive with them. Anything they want, they know they can call me. And so they're actually the ones that are helping me put the school together. We're looking at doing it in Bali.
Thing?
Yeah.
So him and Bad Boy.
It's Matt, Bad Boy, Timothy Skypes, and Kel.
Yeah.
And so
I wear their sweatshirts all the time.
They're honestly three of my favorite human beings.
I mean, Matt has worked for.
We had Matt here for like a month.
Yeah, Matt worked on a huge one of the biggest project I ever worked on.
Matt needs to be on a podcast. Do you know Matt's story?
Yeah.
Like, man's really had no shoes as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I went through some shit, but that's different, you know?
Yeah, I've known Matt forever, you know.
So
he's family.
He's a great kid, and, you know, they've built over 50 fucking schools, you know? And, like, that's actually happiness, you know, helping other people, you know. I'll probably get some shit for even saying it, but I got a kid in Philly we take care of, you know what I mean? He's not in the best of situations, and it's like, we do what we can, you know, he's really in a bad situation. His whole family is. But it's a blessing. You know, yesterday I called my brother Chris Smokes. That's Khaled's right-hand man. I was like, yo, you're a 2X. Give me all the shit you don't want. It's for this kid. I put him on the phone with the kid. I put Orly on the call, who's Balvin's dude, who's how I met the kid. Yeah. And Smokes is like, bro, I got you. Smokes organized like 3 suitcases full of clothes and shoes, like and good shit. Not like no fucking, not no Gap. We're talking about like, bro,
Supreme,
Stone Island, Nike, like Supreme, like there's shit in there. Jordans, you know what I mean? Like maybe
probably
not
only worn like one time.
Yeah, and it's nothing too crazy, but like it's shit, feeling. You know. And then Tav connected me with the guys Danny at Ethica.
Yep.
So you know, I text Danny like, yo, Danny, what do I have to do to get this kid a box? Like, you need social media. You need me to pay for it. What do I have to do? He's like, bro.
Send me an
address. Just send me the address. You know, I called my brother Seen at Pink Dolphin, same thing. Like, what do you need me to do? Nothing. Just send me the address. So like, that's a blessing. Like shit like that is the blessing. Knowing that like we get to change that kid's life, and it's minor to us, but to him it's life changing. You know, and it's someone that I actually interact with. I hate people. I don't like going out. I don't like talking to people. I don't like questions.
Everyone says that to me, but somehow I always get the E-tie time.
No, you always get it. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. You know what I mean? There's no in between. There's either I like you or I don't like you, you know? And I'm different. I was raised by, my homies are all hood. There's a code of conduct. There's morals. There's the way you act. Shit like that bothers me. You know what I mean? I can't look past it with certain people. So in LA, I hide to myself. And one of my pieces, like sometimes yesterday, all the parties in the world, private parties with chain smokers, going to link with Tory, anyone you want. I'm like, man, fuck that shit. I'm gonna sit in my studio, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna smoke, I'm gonna hop on some video games for an hour or two, chill, you know what I mean? And so like, Elliot has been my friend for over a year now through the video game world. And seeing since I met him how much we've been able to change his life, that's tight. You know what I mean? Like, so like once you kind of figure out, like once you buy everything, you realize that like, it don't really mean nothing. And it never really meant nothing to me, but it was more of like a self thing. Like, I don't care about the bust down.
Right.
I'll probably end up honestly giving it away to my assistant in a few years. For me, it was more about, they told me I couldn't.
Yeah. They said I wasn't gonna.
And not only did they say I couldn't, man, I bought my mom one 3 days before me and then bought mine. Who the fuck can say that? You know what I mean? Like, so shit like that is like self goals, you know what I mean? And so like, 2020 is a lot more structured, a lot more planned, bigger picture projects.
Yeah.
Some more movie, like I saw him in the Japan trip was like a movie. He went twice in 2019.
I was literally
I
gonna
went
bring up
6
Japan
times in Japan.
6 times?
Japan is like...
How many times did you go last year? You went 6 times last time?
Last year.
Oh, sheesh.
And so I was supposed to already have been in Japan twice now, and I canceled both of them.
Wow.
That's my second home. The day they legalized weed,
you're moving there.
I'm moving my whole office. I'm gonna.
No questions asked.
I don't even care how much is left on my lease. I'm out. I'll pay the rents. I'm out. If I have to go dead broke and start all over,
you're good.
What is it about Japan that you like that
Land
much?
of opportunity, real opportunity.
There's nothing that's
like
not better in Japan other than girls and drugs. If you can live without that, if you have a wife, and you don't smoke, you'll never leave Japan. It's that big. There's no crime. There's no clout. Yeah, Japan's expensive. The way I do Japan, it's even worse.
The way you do Japan is the only way I know Japan, and I'm never going there without you.
I know that amount of Wagyu beef is expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Nah, but it's just everything, bro. It's like the mentality of the people, the respect of the people, the technologies. There's stupid things for me. For me, like, nothing bothers me more now if I press the wrong floor on an elevator.
Yeah.
Because in Japan, it's universal that if you double click it, it undoes it.
That's amazing.
You didn't reinvent the wheel. There's no new technology behind that. That shit's been
just thought of thing.
It's just thought of.
Yeah.
So like, fucking, why don't we have that in any of our elevators here? You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like you don't open a taxi or an Uber door. They have an automatic swing.
I heard that.
And the cause on that is they used to have a lot of sickness rate. They fucking calculated it. If no one touches a door handle, their sickness rate's going to go down. So every door is automatic. No one touches things anymore. It's like everything out there is extremely well thought of. There's no trash on the floor. Even as a tourist, if you were to throw trash on the floor, people are going to point at you and say, pick that up. Yeah. And I agree with tipping on restaurants in America because that's the system that's set up. I don't agree with it, but I understand it, I guess. It sucks because the real winners of that is the restaurant owners because they're going to underpay their staff if you have a high-end restaurant, but where they're going to win is the tip system. If our dinner is $3,000, you're making $300 to $600 in tips, you know? So they're going to use that as like, oh, I'm not going to pay you $40 an hour when I can pay a server $18 an hour. You win on the tips.
Yeah.
So I get it. But that puts us in a position where we have to tip. Now, in no other industry do you tip on a service you're paying for. We're paying for it. Like we're actually paying for this service. So tipping is not a thing really. It was created by the business owners. In Japan, there's no tipping. If you leave even 1 penny on the table, they will run out and give it to you.
That's crazy.
And it has nothing to do with the money. Because you can ask Tav, I love to spend money and take my friends to dinners, and I'm always the one to do that. Tip, everything. I've worked a service job, so I know how shitty it is. You know what I mean?
Or how much that makes someone's night.
Yeah.
When the big ball comes in.
But to be in Japan and just, you have that job because you're proud of it, not because you need the tip money. And it's just a completely different energy.
Yeah.
Everything. That's just one of the thousands of examples of things that are by far inferior in America. I mean, dude, they don't smoke outside, right? Because the Olympics, they want to have clean air. So what they do, they created vents inside of every restaurant everywhere. You can smoke indoors.
Yeah.
In a McDonald's, they have a smoking section. But it's a segregated room.
Yeah.
The vents are going to take that smoke and filter it.
Wow.
Before it gets released into the ozone.
It's amazing.
Man, they've been on the toilets like 10 years. We still haven't even came around to those toilets. They've had those things for 10 years.
Oh my God. And what you think is a nice toilet of that
It's
essence,
our
you
regular
have
toilet.
no fucking idea.
It's our regular toilet.
Because I've been out there with the big billionaires, you know, and like I've seen some of their like private offices and shit, and you're like, bro, this fucking, is this an I-8 or is it a toilet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, there's just nothing there, bro. Everything's wrong. Dude, they have, you know how you can go and get a refrigerator and like get fucking drinks out of 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have doors on their refrigerators. They figured out how to angle all the coolant and everything that they don't need a door. They have hot refrigerators.
Oh yeah, I've seen
You
this.
can get teas, coffees, hot chocolates, everything already hot. Amazing. Literally, you want it with 2% milk, you want it with no milk. Like they have a million different ones. And on top of that, they have vending machines on every street corner.
Right.
And it's not like America where it's like just chips and Snickers and processed shit. Like, dude, they have a lot of drinks. They even have these hot ones that make, like, you could see the robot making your drink on the spot. Like, you want a latte? You want a latte with non-fat milk? You're gonna literally watch the robot like move.
Yeah.
You're gonna see steam coming out of one of the pots. You're gonna see pour. It's like it's crazy. You know, I took Tav there.
Tav's fucking.
Oh man, that was crazy.
You
guys look like you were.
Tav's asleep.
Like a music video.
I mean, that was one of the best trips of my life. I've been on some good ones, but
yeah, that one.
You guys took over a whole first class.
Oh, what's so funny? So look, how many people were we? Six. There's 8 first class chairs.
Yeah, the couple.
So the couple, like I'm talking about, you're talking about 6 young retarded kids that are going to Japan. We were so excited. Yeah. Tom's, and then we have Banks like, yeah, baby. Yeah, like, look. So like, bro, we're fucking pounding. And let me remind you, it's a 12-hour flight.
Of course.
I've done it before. These kids are stressing, you know, so we're fucking pounding beers. We're like, fucking smoke before the flight. I'm like, let's get ready. You know, we're like, bro, we go onto that flight and we are the most, I mean, we're respectful.
Yeah, but obnoxious at the same
The
time.
most obnoxious. Like, if I didn't know us, I would be like, who the fuck are these rich little fits?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I get it. You know, like, let me get a shot. Let me get a fucking mimosa, a beer. We're like leaning over the chairs, cheering each other. Everyone's filming. So there's this poor fucking little couple so there's like 4 in the front and 4 in the back. And the couple has the 2 in the middle, in the back row.
Right.
So we're fully surrounding them.
Oh my God.
And they're just listening to our bullshit, you know? And we're nice. Like, the flight attendant recognized the couple with the kids, asked for a photo, you know? The guy, we're talking to them, you know, boom, I'm out. I fall asleep.
Right.
Fucking, honestly, don't even remember what they look like. We leave Japan. We're all barely hanging on. Like, literally, a string's not even holding us. We were taped back together. I mean, we are like contemplating missing our flight to get McDonald's because we might throw up in the car ride. And we get on the fucking plane. It's the same 2 people.
Oh my God.
And
American.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, they hate us. And they were so excited to see us. They were like so happy. And
I know my brother well enough there was probably like, eh.
We were all screaming. Some kid from like one of the other seats tried to come in the back and like take a photo with Banks. The flight attendant was tripping. We were trying to get the flight attendant to take a shot with us. That was an amazing trip.
Man, you know what's inspiring is growing up, my crew was like, you know, like I had a lot of crews I grew up around, and me and Aaron, and, you know, like our crew is all like shining, right? But like seeing like you guys, like Top's crew is like, you guys are like the next generation of like hype. You know what I mean? It's like, it's you. Obviously, Top's going to be a mogul on the cover of Forbes magazine one day because he's just got his hands in everything. But like with Banks and like just like Kelv, Bad Boy, it's like just seeing all of that, like you guys are unstoppable. As long as you guys all have each other's backs through everything, it's going to be crazy.
It's a force to recognize.
Yeah, literally.
Sure.
You're going to own a building and you guys are all going to have little things.
My important message to the people listening is when I was in school, I was the outcast,
right?
But I was always friends with everyone. You know, I sold weed. I knew everyone. I always was at the parties, you know. So people fucked with me. But when you're in school, you have like an immediate squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never really had that like lifelong
that makes sense.
squad.
Yeah.
I went to so many different schools, so many this. I had friends everywhere, you know. And out of the thousands of kids I knew growing up, I don't fuck with none of them.
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 of them. And even kids that I thought were going to be my best friends for my entire life, fuck that shit up.
You know what's crazy is Aaron and I, we've been inseparable since 6th grade. I've known Aaron longer than Top's been alive.
And so growing up, I know people like that, you know, like, oh, we've been best friends our whole lives and you're both successful. So, you know, for me, it was always like, all right, I don't have that immediate squad, you know, so I was always friends with everyone. You know, you see your friends go to college, they're squatted up, they're all leaving college and doing jobs together, things like that. So I was always just kind of like, not that I felt the type of way, but it was just not something I really related to, you know? And now it goes back to my first internship. I used to have to file. I fucking hated it. I was miserable.
Yeah.
To this day, I still meet people and I remember them from that filing cabinet. I remember the name. I don't know what they do, but if they worked with the company that I was filing for, they do something, you know? So that was an important life lesson. And that's kind of what happened with this. Like, all my best friends, all my brothers, doesn't matter the age, the race, none of that. Like, they were all met throughout this journey, and couldn't be more blessed for the people in my life. But it's such an amazing feeling to see how many of my friends are actually winning right now. To the point where I remember when round 2 was a storage unit. I remember getting fucked at work because the other intern quit to go move back home to kick it with round 2. I had double the load. I used to go to Supreme every morning and finesse shit. And I would ship it to them same day, overnight. And Supreme hasn't even shipped out their fucking orders, and they're in Virginia flexing this shit. So I've literally known those guys. I mean, when they started their store, when they first opened their store, after everything opening day, they had negative $800 in their account.
Wow.
And they're worth an 8-figure number, not a 7-figure number today.
I know.
And I've watched the whole thing from A to Z. So there's a lot of friends I have like that I met in this journey, and some people who had great potential who fucked it off.
Yeah.
And that's part of it, learning when to separate yourself. I've had times where I had to cut people out of my life that I didn't want to, and it was hard, but big picture, fast forward, I know I did the right thing because they fucked their lives off. You know what I mean? I can't be around that shit. So it's, my best friend is changing on a regular. Yeah. And I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to be confined, because I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I didn't get to meet so many people and build these relationships. And not everyone you're supposed to be with every day.
Yeah.
I have friends that I don't even need to see you for a year.
Oh, yeah,
I see you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so...
Listen, I relate with you a lot. It's like, you know, you'll post some stuff like, that's my brother for life, blah, blah, blah. Like, I got this guy's back. And people make fun of me a lot, you know, like, that's your best friend and this is your best friend and you... But it's like, yo, man, like... for those that know me, like, my dad and mom weren't like around for me. For my brothers, yeah, for sure. But I had like a fallout, you know, and so my friends are all I ever had, and now I have Tav and Tom, and that's all I give a fuck about, you know. Like, where this future goes is where Tav and Tom are going, you know. So it's like, I relate with you because I know exactly what you mean when you're like, I got this person for life. That's my best friend. Like, you say it from the heart, and you mean it. It's that you don't need one best friend. You know what I mean? Like, I know who my best friend is. You know what I mean?
And I'm serious with that shit. A lot of people say like, yo, you're my brother for life, but like, I really live that shit. Like, my best friend passed away, bro. Like, I still take care of his girl. I still take care of his kid. I still break them off, take them to dinners, give him clothes. Fuck, if I got a Nike plug that wants to send a box out, send that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's really for life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've watched some shit in my life. 2019, I lost 9 friends.
Yeah, I know.
Some that
are fucked.
Are brothers to me, to the point where it's like, you get numb to it. You know what I mean? Like, you lose so many people that you just start to accept it. And so for me, it's like, I had an important moment a couple months ago, which was a hard moment, but it was a conversation with my parents, each separate individually. Like, yo, if I died tomorrow, just know I'm content. I did it. You know, like, I wasn't happy with life. Everything everyone thought I couldn't do, I did. Yeah. I made you guys happy. I've worked with some of the biggest people in the world. And that shit happens. I've watched my friends who are younger than me die left and right. Yeah. And whether it's drugs, a robbery, I mean, it could be anything. A fucking meteor could fucking hit you in the head. Who fucking knows, you know? It's a number thing. So I've had some crazy health problems in my life. Yeah. I used to have seizures. Yeah. I've had the left side of my face paralyzed. It can happen any day. You know what I mean? So for like big
stress
thing
is a big problem
that I push on my friends, going back to that, like, yo, I see people with potential that just fuck it off. Like, nothing bothers me more than me caring about someone and watching them fuck it off. Yeah. Because I feel like I want better for you than you want for you. Took me a long time to accept that and not push. You're better off sitting back and fucking letting them figure it out.
Fuck yeah.
You can try, but certain people don't want to, you know? So like, it's a weird subject. You know, my whole life people have been fucking dying. So it's kind of, for me, it's like, I live that shit every fucking day. I save money, but I spend money. Like, bro, if we gotta fucking even think about splitting, like, you know, like, I'm gonna pick up the bill this time. I'm not worried about it. You'll get it next time. You know what I mean? So like, that's another pet peeve. I have so many rich ass motherfucking friends that don't want to do anything for anyone else. It's like crazy, you know what I mean? And I see some people, it's like, dude, we really work for this shit. And you get it handed to you and you don't even understand, you know? So
it's crazy how much of Norm you remind me.
I love Norm.
I know.
Rest in peace, Norm. Yeah. That was a great guy.
You're like, you are Norm. I know. I mean, look, 80% of my tattoos are from Norm. I mean, besides being, you know, Norm was a crewmate of mine, you know, but...
You know, he wouldn't tattoo me when I was younger.
Bro, Norm.
He was like, you gotta be 18,
probably one
kid.
of the first 3 people Norm tattooed. You know, Tav's first tattoo is from Norm.
I'm 16 calling people like, I never forget. One of my friends had a fake ID and walked into Will Rise when it was on Fairfax. And finessed, like, yo, I'm fucking 20 years old, and got a Norm tattoo right on his back shoulder. I was like, damn, that's so hard. You know what I mean? Like, he actually knew me, so that wasn't happening for me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck. I was like, Norm, let me get a tattoo. Let me get a tattoo. Never would. Finally, I'm 18. I'm like, yo. Yeah. What's up? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
waited.
What the fuck's the excuse now?
He was so excited to tattoo Tav, man, because he's tattooed me, Tom, and Tav. You know, so it was Norm and I had a really, really awesome friendship. It was brotherhood. You know, I mean, he tattooed Abby. You know, like
it's hard because when you care about someone like that too, like, unless you've been through it and you're really, really, really like losing someone that's your friend is one thing, but losing someone that their whole circle is your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their brothers, their moms, their shop employees, their fucking lawyer you've met on a fluke, their fucking 3 ex-girlfriends. They're like, that's family, you know what I mean? So like, people think someone dies and that's it. It's like, dude, there's so much that happens and so much chaos that happens. When you're the head of the snake, when people depend on you, when you're the leader and you pass, none of those people know what to do.
I know how many people Norm took care of.
I've seen that shit firsthand. That was an important lesson I learned years ago. But what hurts me the most is seeing how much it fucks up everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Some people know how to handle it and some people don't. And you can't like I have a friend who I've watched him lose friends.
Yeah.
Like, we know a lot of the same people. But I'm not going to name names, but someone passed recently and it hit him really hard. And he started to fuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, you can't be doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you can't tell someone how to feel at that point when they feel like that. And I understand because I've been there. And then there's also people who are right as close. They're like, I see how he's handling it. Yeah. I see that no matter how much hurt he's in, he knows he's got to do some shit because everyone else kind of depends on him type shit. So like, there's so much that goes on in the background of someone passing away that nobody knows about. And
it's not a good feeling.
It's still to this day. So like like I couldn't be more happy of all the guys at that shop.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more happy of Sleeps.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Everyone who's fucking working their ass off, making sure his legacy is good.
Oh yeah,
the shop is good. You know, like
he ain't going. Like he's a forever name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
the best part about Norm is he posted so much that it's like a blog, you know, like he has like 10,000 posts. So you could just always go in there. I
still meet people today. I'm like, I don't even know them. You know, I'm the quiet guy. People come in, a group of people come into the room. I'm not introducing myself unless that's like the energy. I'm like, I'll sit by myself. I have no problem. Norm, it's like, yo, Norm did that tattoo? Yeah. I got one too.
Right.
All right, what's good, bro? You're cool. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what's so cool about tattoos.
And
man.
Like, so a lot of people go get Venice Beach tattoos. I collect tattoos. I have 100,000 plus in tattoos on my body because I pay real artists to spend work.
Absolutely.
And you've seen some of my stuff. I'm not trying to be cocky. Some of the best tattoos in the world. Photorealistic portraits. And so the guy Eric who did this arm, dude, it took me like 3 years to get in with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was buying shit. His friends couldn't get a hold of me, so he was hitting me up for something. Like, we were friends, you know? You still won't tattoo me. I'm 21, 22, you know, like, doing good. You still won't tattoo me.
Bro, Wu grew up at my house. Like,
Wu won't tattoo me. I don't
know what I mean? Like, Dr. Wu, like, grew up in my house. Like, my dad's house. Like, we, like, close. Like, I don't have tattoos by Wu, but Abby does. You know what I mean? Like, I got, like, he tattooed it. Like, it ain't like Wu ain't gonna tattoo me, you know. Wu's gonna do like all my knuckles. If
I press the issue, he'd tag.
Oh no, I'll show up to Wu's like door tomorrow.
But so you know how that is, like, like, bro, I'll walk into places with the Eric tat, and it's like, okay, if finally after I got it, I understood because he doesn't do one tattoo. I'm signed up for life with him.
Yeah,
you know, my whole body. He's a piece of art.
Crazy.
So now when I see people, Norm and Eric are the two stamps. My left and my right arm. It's like either you know Eric or you know Norm. And it's crazy how far that fucking reach goes. It's like when Flickr first started and all the graffiti artists are now fucking global. And next thing you know, they're making stickers and shipping it to some kid in Netherlands. And the kid in Netherlands is putting them up for him and sending him fucking photos. And that kind of changed the whole graffiti global game. So it's like,
Dang, the Flickr drop.
Flickr.
Flickr name drop. I'm for it.
Flickr? That was my shit, homie. What? I didn't have like MySpace or Facebook. I don't like photos.
No, yeah.
I don't want you to take a photo of me. I don't want to take a selfie.
Didn't like Imgur buy the Flickr? I think it's like they just gave all their database to like Imgur. I don't know.
I mean, Instagram is just Flickr done better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
true. I guess you're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me. You're working on a lot of projects. I just saw your Lizzo thing. That was
dude,
like
huge.
Bro, like you're huge already, Itai. You know what I mean? Like I always see like half of hip hop is you know, if you don't have an Itai, it's like getting your first Rolex. You get like Itai has had to create something for you, right? But Lizzo, biggest artist in the world right now, and not to mention La Chappelle.
Oh, dude,
shot
La
it.
Chappelle,
So it's like
huge.
you are a creative director, and the biggest creative director known to man as Dave LaChapelle. How does that sit with you? Like what that feeling? You know, I got excited. I was like, "Fuck!"
Oh, it was a great photo too. Man, it was perfect.
So for me, it's hard because this is my everyday life.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm still normal.
Yeah, of
like
course.
I hate that people treat me different.
Oh, okay.
But,
Yeah.
But I understand it.
Yeah.
But like, and yeah, there's perks to it. You know what I mean? But like, people treat me different.
Yeah.
I'm not really normal anymore.
Yeah.
People started recognizing me. Like, it's weird. You know, when that's not the attention you're going for. And how do I even say this? Because it's so normal, it doesn't feel like a wow like it's
Right.
a wow thing, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not fanning out. You know what I mean? Like, and so for me, it's like there's so much more with La Chappelle that nobody
Right.
even knows about that led up to that relationship. I mean, I've hung out with him many times. La Chappelle has worked for every designer company in the world and will never wear their clothes.
Yeah.
But I have La Chappelle calling me and telling me to come in and buying designer jackets and pants off of me and then wearing them. And like, I grew up, when my mom was into fashion, the one book I remember from being a kid is a fucking big ass, heavy
LaChapelle book.
La Chappelle book.
It's the one.
Hardest cover
the
you'll
Bible.
ever, it's the thickest book you'll ever find. It comes in a crazy box, you know what I mean? So like, dude, like for me to like get to work with them and build those relationships, it like kind of like, it validates my mental path.
Yeah.
It makes me know that like, even though things aren't in my favor right now, a lot of things I get swept under the rug. People don't help me. I know I'm on the right path. I know something's coming. You know, like, bro, fuck all the other shit. My mom's happy, bro. My mom looks up to La Chappelle. You know what I mean? So for my mom to fucking be happy, that's like, that's what matters. You know, like, when is this coming out? Not for a couple weeks?
Oh, this is a
probably
few
be
months.
like, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're good.
you're good.
So like, I hit up La Chappelle. I want my mom to know.
Yeah, yeah.
I hit up La Chappelle. I was like, yo, like, I don't know if this is something you do, but can I ask for 2 prints of that? One for me and one for my mom. And
Yeah.
he was like, don't normally do that, but I got you.
Wow.
You know, so like, when I go give my mom that print, signed by me, signed by La Chappelle, you know, framed for her crib, like, that's happiness. That's like a good moment. You know, like when I build the school in Bali and I surprise my mom and fly her out and fucking do that, like, that's like a tight moment. That's what's kind of happiness. That's what it's about for me.
That's amazing.
People always ask me like, or tell me, you're going to be a creative director one day at one of these big companies. Like, I don't think I ever will.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
It's gonna be your company.
And I've sat down with, I don't even want it to be my company. That's the thing. Like, I've sat down with John Galliano, or some of the biggest people in the world, and like, bro, I'm not cut out for that shit, bro. I'm covered in tattoos. I smoke weed. I don't want to design something so that you can make a certain profit margin.
Fair.
I don't want to be told what the fuck I can and can't do. I don't want to wear a suit and go to your runway show and do that. Like, it's not really me. You know what I mean? And so once I realized that, I also simultaneously realized like owning my own company is not for me either. Like, I could have done that shit years ago, dude. When I was doing graffiti, I was printing t-shirts when I was 15, making my own silkscreen setups. You know what I mean? Like, I've been done that.
Yeah.
I've made money organizing production for people. I've done it. I've emailed people in China.
You worked for Bobby and Ben too.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But yeah.
We had Ben on.
We
He
just
told
had
a little
Ben on.
story.
He
Yeah,
loves your
the
story,
funniest shit is like, yo, in our group chat, they just discovered that photo. And I don't know if you noticed, if you zoom in on the photo of me working at the 100th, I'm holding a box cutter.
No way.
I was cutting boxes open at that time, and they were like, come take a photo. this was like a Black Friday. You know, the hundreds Black Friday was the biggest holiday in the world at that time. And so fucking, I'm sitting there cutting open boxes to like take a photo. Our group chat sends the photo. Then they screenshot like just the knife and they go, Itai's been cutting shit. Yeah. Like, so I was like,
stays cutting.
I was getting a laugh at that, you know, but back to the creative thing. I don't think it's for me, man. I really don't. Man, and I think one day maybe, I think because it's not for me, like, bro, I'm not on Virgil's level. Yeah. Virgil is huge. Yeah. So for Virgil to be that big and you still don't have no power, and I know you don't have no power, I mean, I'm not fucking retarded. Imagine me going in there. You know what I mean? And Virgil's looked at as a good thing. Yeah. I'm technically viewed as a bad thing right
you're the
now.
Bad boy.
So if I'm the bad guy that comes into the company that's a fucking kid covered in tattoos, bro, they're not gonna give me shit control. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So I think I'm not even like, and even clothing production, like owning my own company, like I don't want to be viewed as a clothing company. I'm not a designer. Like I make one-off goods. Yeah. It's 100 times harder than doing production run. I could do production run in my sleep and I would make millions of dollars off of that shit. But the last thing I want to do is sit in a fucking office and do that.
I love it.
That's the craziest thing because, you know, I don't think people understand how hard it is to cut those towels up, you know, like how unforgiving a towel is.
Bro, it's so much more beyond that. And when I first started, it was like, boom, you have an idea, put it in front of me, let me see how it's made. All right, boom, I'm cutting it up, trying to make it already. It's so much more advanced than that now.
Especially those towels are those are vintage towels too, you know?
I have to create decks on projects now. Yeah. I have to do like that type. Like no one told me that shit. No one taught me that shit. It just like naturally elevated to the point where it's like, yo, you want to sell $100,000 piece? People need to kind of see it because they can't visualize it the same.
Yeah, no one has an imagination.
Yeah. You know, so
you would
like,
think they'd be able to like, oh yeah, I can picture that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Taxes.
Matt and I talk to people all the time, and we think that people know what the fuck we're talking about, and they're like, yeah. And,
every little kid that's listening to this, learn about taxes, learn about lawyers, learn about how the fucking public's and how everything works. You can't finesse me because I know. Yeah. Fair. And I've been there. Yeah. I've literally been there. Yeah. So you can't tell me that this doesn't work or this and that. It's like, homie, I know how it works.
I know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like so important. There's so many times today that like motherfuckers trying to just get up on like hours used on a project and they send me an invoice. I'm like, bro, this is a 4-hour thing, not 12. Yeah. Like stop that shit. You know, like I've done it. Yeah, it's like either you fucking invoice me properly or I'm never working with you again and I'll leave the invoice open. And I don't do that. I don't not pay people. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody I owe money to, but you start fucking around, like I'm young.
Yeah. Well, look.
I got one more before you jump into your last one. I just want to know, I've always wanted to ask the sandals. Like, what's up with the sandals? Is that like you just like they're just so comfortable that you don't want to mess with nothing else?
I wish Abby stayed because
there's so many people that this might be the highlight.
Dude, I swear.
Yeah, let's go.
Because it used to be a specific brand, but I now know it's just more like the specific like style. Now I've noticed.
All right, so this is what it is. Sneakers. Growing up, I was homeless and I skateboarded. I had holes in my shoes. My mom was begging to buy me new shoes. Yo, you look like a fucking bum. Let's buy you some new shoes. You know, they'd buy me new shoes. I'd wear them for 2 days in front of them and go right back to the ones with the holes in them. I'm a comfort person. Sandals were simply a laziness thing. Yeah. And I don't like Adidas flip-flops. Like there's a difference between sandals and flip-flops. Like
not even like an Adidas slide either.
Hell no. Not those plastic rubber slides. Like those are uncomfy as shit. It fucks up your feet over time. Yeah. When I was getting into all this hype shit, there's a company called Visvum.
Yep, of course.
Some kids know about Visvum, a lot don't. Visvum...
Very expensive.
Yeah. I mean, but getting Visvum Christos, the sandals in America, is fucking impossible. Let alone, they're Japanese. Yeah. They don't make 12s. That's an XL. Yeah. So let's say they make 200 smalls, 200 mediums, 200 large. They're going to make 20 XLs. Yeah. And when you got a big foot and you got some clout, you're not giving up that slot. Those 20 were like going to people already. You know what I mean? Like, you weren't finessing, bro. Like I used to sit, like, bro, I'll never forget the first pair of Visvums I found on like a Yahoo auction. They came and it was a fucking large and I was all excited and I put it on and I was like, man, oh man. I called Chris. I'm like, yo, I got some Visvums for you. Yeah. I'll bring them by the shop. I can't do nothing with these. So,
were they too small?
Too small.
Okay.
I finally got a pair of Visvums and they were less comfortable than I really expected them to be. And I was so thrown off. I was like, man, I don't know if like, You got to break them in.
Yeah.
So, you know, because they're
It's all
built
this
like a
hype.
shoe. If you really break them in, they're fucking comfortable. They have these lines on the bottom of the sole for where your like toes sit. Pet peeve. I can't do that, and I can't do the socks with the line in the front that you could feel. So fucking, I bought Visvums and was never had been more disappointed. And I love them. I still have probably the biggest Visvum collection right now. I mean, I did so much marketing and sales for them, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to build a relationship.
Yeah.
Just so that they'll sell me an XL
Yeah.
of each style when it comes out. Not even give it to me, sell me.
Yeah.
And at that time, I'm fucking, they tell me a week early, I text every rapper I know, you need this one? Bet. And then I'll go with my credit card and spend fucking $40,000 on sandals and fucking sell them to all the homies for the same exact price. I'm not making nothing, but I built the relationship, you know? So one day, I'm in fucking Louis, and it's the first time they dropped these sandals. And I'm looking, and all they have is this one with like this thick, weird wood bottoms. I'm out, you know what I mean? My girl fucking pulls one out the back, and is like, boom, try this. Illest sandal I've ever seen. Super comfy, 2 sizes too big. Louis Vuitton shoe sizing is like completely fucking, if you're a 12 normally, you need like a 10, 10 and a half in Louis. I get a fucking phone call like 4 or 5 days later, like, yo, someone returned a pair of sandals because they don't fit.
Yeah.
They're a size 10 and a half. They might fit you. I'm a 12, 12 and a half. I'm like, yeah, right. Yo, they fit.
Like a glove.
Like a glove, yo. I started wearing them every day, and I just said, fuck it.
I love it.
I started being able to get into places that you can't get in with.
That's what I was gonna say. I've seen this guy like everywhere with the sandals on.
Every club I'm in, it's like a thing. Like I don't go. Like, bro, remember last time we came here? You had to literally text the head of Dre's like, "Yo, my boy's in sandals. We're not gonna have a problem, right?" Like, bro, I go through that. Like people like try not to let me in places, and I figure it out, but. It's on some like, I'm comfy, bro. If I don't need to fucking abide by the rules, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
that's it. So now I have 20 pairs of shoes. I got the Hearst, I got Thunder 4s, like rare shit that I never fucking wear, but I don't want to get rid of. And probably 4 or 5 of each colorway of these sandals. Like I probably have 30, 40 of them at least.
That's crazy.
Well, look, I have a last question because haircut time for both of you, for you and Tav. And you're not even 26, which is even crazy. And this is pretty much the last episode of this season, so it'd be really cool because next season I'll have something else.
Yeah, that's a nice question.
You know? Average kid doesn't leave parents' house until 26. What are your like? Give out some like knowledge to some kids of like not to trip of like, oh my god, like I could never afford to live on my own. It's hard, man. Like you can't even make enough money in LA these days, or actually anywhere. You know, it's really hard for kids to go out, have a real life.
It's hard for me to relate because I didn't get that luxury.
Right. No, I know. I mean, trust me, I didn't either.
Yeah.
It's
And
fame.
when I couldn't figure it out, my only option was selling drugs and stealing from people. And I did that. And listen, sometimes you got to do illegal shit and risky shit to get you where you want to get.
Fair.
Some people don't get the luxury of being born into the situation. But if you're just doing illegal and risky shit to just live and do what you do or do drugs or whatever, like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You know? I was selling all sorts of shit. I never touched it. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I moved out at a young age. I've fucking slept on Venice Beach and woken up with my shit missing. I've slept in hallways. I've been kicked out of Starbucks like a homeless person. Like, I've done it all. To living on couches in exchange for cleaning and doing dishes. You know what I mean? Shit like that. I ended up actually moving back in with my parents.
Yeah.
When I was young, me and my father didn't get along. Now we're great. When I got my shit together, he got his shit together. We became friends. I lived with them for maybe 2 years after that, 3 years after that. And, you know, I got made fun of by like Chris and Sean. And then they're like, oh, you're never going to move out your parents' crib. It's like, homie, I moved out before you moved out. But I'm back now. And see, so the difference for me is like, I didn't use mommy and daddy's money. They just gave me a roof. Like when I went back with them. I didn't get to spend, like they didn't give me nothing. I worked my ass off every day. So it's like, if you have a vision, you know what I mean? There's no problem with staying at your parents' house for a few years if you're doing something. If you're sitting there to live for the weekend, you're working a regular job to get fucked up on Fridays and Saturdays and then hate going in on Mondays, you're in a hamster wheel. You literally jumped in the wheel. So for me, it's like, people think this shit came easy. I sacrificed so much shit. I lost my girlfriend, I lost friends, my family didn't fuck with me for a while. You know, like I went through some shit and now it paid off. But my advice to everyone who always fucking, because you know, I have interns, I have little kids that look up to me and I try and point them in the right direction. It's like, I still don't know what I'm doing, if that makes sense. I just know the direction and I know improving my life every day. And so, and there's areas where I'm fucking up and I need to work out more. There's a lot of things like that, you know, but like at the end of the day, like the Lizzo thing, like that's a text you get out of nowhere. You don't know that's coming. That's not something you planned for, you know?
Of course.
But I do know that I feel better in myself sitting at my studio, even if I'm playing video games, but just know I'm in my element thinking in the right direction, then bro, I'm talking about, I could have gone with Lizzo to the Spotify thing. Billy went to the Spotify thing. Fucking Tori had some shit that night. Chainsmokers, like everyone's calling me. Khaled's in town. They want me to go to this and that. Like girls hitting me up, dinners, this. Like, bro, I skipped on all that shit.
That's great.
And just sit in my studio.
It's work.
And
the grind never stops, everyone.
That's a great answer.
That's it. Like, no, you got to do it yourself. No one's going to wake you up and tell you got to do something. We don't have a job because we don't like being told what to do.
Yeah, I've been let down by so many people for 20 years, man. Maybe more, 30 years.
It'll never, it's for as long as you can remember remembering. And it'll never end.
And listen, I know I've let people down, you know, like...
Yeah, we're all humans. You know, everyone makes mistakes.
There's stuff that I don't even mean for. I mean, my brothers are stuck in between wars between me and people because there's just a lot of shit is just out of my control. And some people just forget that.
Yeah, but see, you have to go through that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to. And I have conversations with friends who went through hell. Some of these rich Hollywood kids that I'm around, like...
Yeah.
You know, my friends look at it as like, they don't understand what it's like. And it's like, you're in the wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's not their fault, but they are not meant to understand.
Fair.
They were not put in that position. They could never understand because they didn't experience it.
Yeah.
And there's so many things in my life that strictly come from experience. My whole life is experience. I didn't go to school. No one taught me.
Yeah.
You know, so like all those types of things, bruh, I love when something doesn't go my way. Mm-hmm. I like when something goes wrong. I like when I struggle because it's a lesson. You learn from it. You learn how to bounce back. When you're a kid and you get beat up in the fucking yard, do you lay there and cry or do you fucking get up and try and swing at the kid? You know what I mean? So it's like, there's hard ones. And just when you fucking finish one, another one's gonna hit. And just right when that other one hits, another one. When it rains, it pours. And then when it's fucking raining, it's gonna fucking hail.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna break your windshield and ruin the interior on your fucking car.
Yeah.
And you gotta sit there and be like, all right, how do I fix this? You know? And so like, bro, you need that. You need to cry. You need to sit by yourself and fucking struggle. You need to think. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of being a human. So every kid that looks up to me, like, they always ask me these questions. Like, how do you do it? How do you do this? What's this? It's like, bro, like, just figure out something that you can enjoy doing 24 hours. Like, I mean, you're losing fun, you're losing money, you're losing relationships, and you still enjoy doing it 24 hours.
Yeah.
It'll pay off in the end. If it's not that thing, it won't work.
I love it.
Love it, man. That's great. That's a great answer.
Because there's no cheat code. There's no in between. Everyone's story is different. The only thing how do you think these rappers got fucking big? Yeah. Sitting in the fucking studio every fucking night. Yeah. What happens to the rappers when they get money? They stop hanging in the studio every night. They have things to do. What happens to the rapper? They fucking fall off.
Yeah.
Even if they don't fall off, it's like, oh man, Kanye's first project is the best. It's like, yeah, Nick, we were hungry. You know what I mean? Like, you sat there every fucking day and worked for it. So I went through a phase of like working for it, then getting this luxurious life that came with it that was distracting me. And now I'm in some like, man, fuck all that shit. I've seen the other side of the world.
Yeah, you don't want it. You want to just stay to the
I've
grind.
also seen some people that experience life differently, and I want to be that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want to not be someone you're paying for.
Yeah.
I'm paying for my friends to come with me. You know what I mean? So it's like, just fucking grind. Whatever the fuck it is. Even if it's something you're not supposed to be doing. Whose stomach was that?
Oh my God.
I
Damn,
thought I haven't smoked.
Yeah.
I'm fucking hungry.
Well, hey man, that stomach, that was the
That must
drop.
be the sign. Oh man.
Well, look, Itai, I love you. You already know that.
Yeah,
I
appreciate you for doing this, man.
Of
Of course.
doing this, man. It's this was a special one for me.
Yeah, this is
Of
like the
course.
longest one.
I know
did,
we could
too.
even go for like another 2 hours
I
because we
know.
didn't get on so much shit.
I
but
could sit here for
nah.
hours.
You know, to bring him back. We'll bring him back.
How do people find you?
Instagram.
Yeah. What is it?
Etai, ETAI.LA.
Boom.
Love it. Boom.
Get it.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I apologize in advance if I don't respond.
That's just terrible. Bad news.